Okay. Question 4. James is going on holiday to USA for 3 weeks. He goes to his bank to exchange money from pounds to sterling. The exchange rate is that. £1 was $1.6. His bank does not charge him commission. James wants to change £350 into dollars. How many dollars is that basically? So what do we do? So we do 350, multiply that by what? 1.6. Okay? Which is like saying 350 times by 1. Add 350 times by 0.6. What's 0.6 as a fraction?
1/10.
6 tenths.
6.
6 here. 0.6 is 6 tenths. Yeah? What's 350 times by 1?
350.
Okay. Let's do 350 times by 6 tenths. So divide that by 10. Divide that by 10. So we got 35 times by 6. What's 35 times by 6? Let's quickly work it out. 35 times by 6. So 5 times by 6 is 30. 3 times by 6 is 18. 18 and 3 is. So that will give us. Oops, it's gone off the screen. Sorry about that, folks. Let's add them up. 350 at 210 gives us what does it give us?
560.
Sorry about I'm squeezing into the corner of the screen, folks. Sorry about that. It's just kind of gone off the page there. Apologies. 560. Okay. Right. Let's recap that technique. 350 times by 1.6. What do we do first? We multiply everything by 1, which is 350. Then we multiply everything by 0.6, which is the same as 6 tenths. And that was easy for us to work out, like a quick technique. And we got our answer nice and quick time. Next question. That's question A done. Question B. While shopping in New York, James sees a shirt that he likes costing £66. How much does it cost in sterling? So we have to now change $66 into pounds. What do we do for that? We have to do opposite of times by 1.6 is divide by 1.6. So we got 66 divided by 1.6. Okay, so we got now 66 divided by 1.6. Okay. Now, does anybody know the 1.6 times table? No. So we need to make this number into a whole number and multiplying it by 10. So 1.6 times by 10 is? 16. Is that a whole number now?
Yeah.
Yes. If you multiply the second number by 10, you have to multiply the first number also by
10.
So that gives you 660. So 660 divided by 16. You just set that up. Bust up technique. Bit of long division coming here now. Okay. Let's add a bit of extra space there for when we do our question. Okay, here we go. How many 16s go into 6? And the answer is?
0.
Remainder? 6. How many 16s will go into 66? And the answer is?
4.
4. What's 4 times by 16? That gives us?
64.
64. So 66 minus 64 gives us a remainder of? 2. How many 16s go into 20?
1.
1. What's the remainder?
4.
4. How many 16s go into 40? 2. 16 times by 2 is?
Something. 32.
32. Remainder is?
8.
Okay. How many 16s go into 8?
It's gotta be a whole number 2. Now, what would be 2?
And the answer is? 5 exactly. So the answer that we put down here is 41.25. I'm sorry folks, I couldn't do that question easier. There's an easier method. They're welcome, but that's the technique that we need to use. It's decimal division, changing to whole numbers, long division. Okay, that's all that question done. Now we go to part D. Okay, Okay, Harun, mashallah, spot, I put the answer in the wrong part. That doesn't go here. Where does it go? At the top. Okay, thank you, Harun, for spotting that technical difficulty there. So the answer is £41 and 25 pence. Put in the right place over here. Lovely. Good. Thank you for that That one. What question we just done now? Was that B?
Yeah.
This is all of B. I need some more space now, folks. I'm just going to rub off this part over here. I can't wipe the screen, folks, because I wipe all the answers that we got. Okay, lovely. Let's have a look at question C. The same shirt costs £50 in London. How much cheaper is it to buy it in New York than to London? What we just worked out is £41.25. So we have to now work out between these two numbers, what do we work out? We have to work out the difference. So we're going to do £50. We have to minus £41 and 25 pence. Okay, in this particular question here, we've been asked to work out the percentage. First of all, we're going to work out what the difference is. Because how much cheaper is it to buy? They want answers as a percentage. So we said, first of all, 50 minus 41.25 gave us an answer of £8 and 75 pence. That is how much it is cheaper. We have to express this cheapness as a percentage of its original price. So it's going to be £8.75. So £8.75 is how much is cheaper by as a fraction of what was the price? £50. Now, if you're going to change that into a percentage, you have to change this fraction into a multiply to change the percentage times it by 100. Are we happy with that? Huzaifa, looking over here, please. So this is how much we saved out of the total, out of the original price, 50 times by 100. So divide that by 50. Divide that by 50. This is the technique for changing this into a percentage. So we've got now 8.75 and we've got to multiply it by 2. 8.75 multiplied by 2. Huzaifa, can we look over here, please? 5 times by 2 is 10. 7 times by 2 is 14. Add the 1 on the bottom is 15. 8 times by 2 is 16. Add the 1 is 17. And that is the answer as a 17.50%. That is the percentage. Oops, I lost my pen. Sorry about that, folks. Lost my pen. I'm going to cross onto the screen. 17.5%. Are we happy with that now? So we worked out the difference first. The difference as a fraction of the original price and times by 100 to change into a percentage. And that's question C done. Question D now. The 3 weeks later, when he returns back to London, James has $32 left, which he wants to exchange back to pound sterling. The exchange rate at the airport is $1 worth 80 pence. If he changes that at the airport and airport charges 10% commission on the transaction, how much money will James get in pound sterling? I think this is more of a GCSE paper than a level plus paper. The more I look at it, it's kind of the complexity of the questions they're giving you here. So, okay folks, we need to do $32 and we need to multiply that by 0.8 pounds to change it into pounds. And then once we get changed into pounds, we need to minus from that how much percent? 10% of it as commission, we lose it. Okay, let's get cracking. Now, I want to do 32 times by 0.8. What's the quickest way of doing that? We're going to do that like this. 32, 0.8. Change into fraction for me, please, folks. 0.8 of the fraction is?
8 over 10.
8 over 10. Lovely. We are now beginning to start thinking properly. Time by 8 over 10. Okay. Now, and then we have to work at 10%, isn't it? Okay, now let's see if we can cancel it down. So this is the first part of the calculation. We're working out 8/10 of the money. And then what do we do next? We got to then knock off 10%. How do we work out 10% of something? We multiply it by 1/10 to work out 10%. So let's work it out. So we have 32 times by 8 times by 1 divided by 1 times by 10 times by 10. Let's do some cancelling. So, okay, let's change color. Okay, what can we do here, folks? So, 8 divided by 2, it will give us 4. 10 divided by 2 will give us 5. 32 divided by 2 will give us, and 10 divided by 2 will give us, so we're cancelling diagonally. Okay, can we cancel any more at the moment? Can you cancel any more?
No.
No. So top will be 16 times by 4 times by 1. The bottom will be 1 times by 5 times by 5. What's 16 times by 4? And what's 5 times by 5?
25.
Okay. Now that is how much you will have to give away. That's your 10% basically. And then we can work out 64 over 25. Okay, folks, this particular method, this route I've gone on is led us to a slightly more complicated technique. I'm just going to literally go back a few steps and do a different approach on this question. As this question has been done live, okay, we're going to quickly go back and get rid of all this and do it in a slightly more easier method, so we don't end up with this kind of nice fraction. I thought we'd get a nice fraction, but we haven't. Let's have a look at this part of the calculation first of all. We're going to do $32 times by 0.8. Let's work that out. So, what did we say it was? So, here we go. So, 32 times by, okay, let's put 0.8 is 8/10. Okay, let's do as a, we can do as a long multiplication as here's technique as well.
So you get 25.60.
Yeah. So, 32 times by 0.8. Okay, who knows the long multiplication? If you want to do it this way. Ready? 2 times by 8 is?
16.
16. 3 times by 8 is? 24. Add 1 is? 25. We put a 0 down here for good measure. Okay. Oops. And then everything times by 0 is just 0. Add them all up. We have one decimal place in the question, so we'll have 1 in the answer. So, $32 times by 0.8 pounds gives us an answer of £25.60 is how much you will get. But we have to minus from that a 10%. Okay, he's losing 10%. Okay, what is 10% of £25.60? Okay. To work out 10%, what we do is simply divide it by 10. That gives us what? £2.56. Okay, right. So £25.60 minus the 10%. So if you have to borrow here, 10 take away 6 will give you 4. I'll give you nothing. 5 take away 2 will give you 3. So that'll give you £23.04. Sorry about that slightly longer method, folks. I'll quickly adjust it. We've got this nicer method. So the answer will be £23.04. Will actually what he takes home from the airport after his commission.